This is the Marissa Viverito Dober hearing transcript. So now we're talking about the Georgia Gang Investigators Association. What training and education have you had in the field of gang identification and gang investigations? She talks about some actual training. And she says, I've also had the basic and intermediate certifications from the Georgia Gang Investigators Association, as well as a class on advanced gang investigations, gang interviewing. I attend the GGIA conference. Usually I try and go twice a year if I can, whether it be the winter conference and the summer conference if our budget allows. And those are weeks long. Or the winter one is a little shorter, but the summer one is like a week long worth of training, just all on gangs with people from different states from Georgia. What trainings have you given to other investigators? I'm actually part of the instructor cadre for the GGIA, so I do a training on social media identification and investigative techniques and advanced techniques in gang cases. Do you know the number of classes that you've taught? I typically teach at the summer conference, so I probably would say maybe 4 of those, and then it just depends. Different organizations or agencies, like in the next week or 2, I'll be teaching down for Georgia Department of Corrections, so I'll say maybe 10 or 15 times at least. Have you developed any trainings or courses? Yes, the course I teach was developed. I was asked to come and teach, and I created it from scratch. You created the course that you taught. I did. And what did you use to develop this course that you developed? I use cases that I've investigated, my techniques and methods for doing investigations, as well as I have spoken with other investigators that I deemed to be extremely knowledgeable, and other instructors, and basically the other instructor cadre at GGIA when developing my course. Jumping forward. And are you involved in any gang investigator associations? I'm a member, and as I said, part of the instructor cadre of the GGIA. Have you been certified through GGIA? It says I have. In which areas, both basic and intermediate. Talks about an award she won from the GGIA. Who did you develop the courses with that you dubbed for GGIA? It was myself. Hey, Aaron. Then these are the various mentions of the GGIA in her resume. That's not highlighted for any particular reason. Definitely not going to say that. Yeah, that's right. This is a Dober hearing transcript. And my point I was making is just that the GGIA is prominently and repeatedly mentioned in her qualifying as an expert under the Dober/Kumho Tire standard. And so we're going to take a look at how deeply serious of an organization the Georgia Gang Investigators Association is. So, the summer one is a week long. It's 4 days long. The winter one is slightly less than a week long. It's slightly less than a week long. Slightly less. Slightly less than a week long. So let me count, make sure I get this right. So it's 11th, 12th, 13th, 14. And then this is 4 days. The 11th is the 5th day. And then the 12th is a 6th day. Now, I'm not an expert, but I think a week is 7 days. So if you compare this, it says, those are weeks long. We're going to make these red for the color of the fire on her pants. Sorry for that abstract art there. So she's lying. How many episodes of Sons of Anarchy can you watch in 2 days? Correct. So, this is the very serious 2017 flyer. A little bigger. Survival in the streets and in the courtroom. Kinky. It is at the Savannah DeSoto. Human trafficking, and I don't know why this is capitalized. That's weird. Gangster Disciples Street Gangs, yesterday and today. I really love that they put this in quotations. Let's see. I want to show you the agenda that I found from 2020. Here we go. 2020 GGA Winter Training Agenda. Sunday, we have a check-in or registration, more registration. We have an invocation from GGIA. Hey, we got us introductions from GGIA. Gang Case Study, Young Slime Life by Mark Belknap. And J.P. Miller from something called Cherokee County. Then we have a break. Then we have human trafficking in gangs, no space. Then we have a dash, and then we have a space. And this is Amy Hutzel from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. We have a retired agent, and then we have a prosecutorial liaison from the Georgia Bureau Investigation. Fantastic. Then we have no space here. And then we have a space here. And from 1 to 2:45, we have the Ghostface Gangster Workshop. That is a real gang. It is a white supremacist, I don't know if they're white supremacists, but mostly white gang that originated in Georgia prisons somewhat recently. The feds did a big crackdown on them over the last couple of years. I think they have a lot of members in like southeastern Georgia, the Brunswick area. I know the DOJ did a big bust in Brunswick or Glenn County. But let's see who we have. We have somebody from U.S. Attorney's Office. That makes sense. That's a legitimate person. But then we have investigator, GBI agent. Nobody from outside of Georgia. Nobody familiar with this gang specifically, except for maybe the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now we have special guest Vonnie Willis, District Attorney-elect, apparently speaking for 10 minutes. Then we have, critical evidence, law considerations in gang and RICO cases, best practices in investigating, charging, and expanding pathways of proof expert panel prosecutors and LEOs, hosted by Michael Carlson of Carlson and Carlson on Carlson on Evidence, who actually worked in the YSL case, and John Melvin, also of the GBI. Let's see. Then we have a supervisor from Georgia Department of Corrections. Let's see. White supremacy, GBI, Spalding County, which is used to be the district of Jose Ramirez. Oh, there's Jose Ramirez. Speak the devil. Literally the devil. Aryan Brotherhood. So you see nowhere in there. Also, I want to point out, the second day is like less than half a day. It's maybe 4 hours. So all told, it's really like a day and a half, which is not quite as much as a week. Summer agenda, largely the same thing. You have an ADA from Clayton County. I mean, everybody is internal to law enforcement. There's nobody. Wow, this is a full day right here. We have one. What is this? There's 2 hours, 3 hours? Less than 4 hours of actual work on this day. The jokes write themselves sometimes. I'll look this guy up real quick. Don't worry about that. It's not even written by the guy. Prodigy from Mobb Deep. Yeah, I'm never watching that. So I want to show you how hard it is to pass some of these certifications. GGIA Basic certification course. Personnel applying must meet the following criteria. Be a member of good standing. I think that's like $20. Pay a tuition cost of $100 plus $5 processing for credit cards. Attend the entire 8-hour course. Successfully pass the test with a minimum score of 70% to be a certified gang investigator. 70%. But that's okay. It's just the intermediate. I mean, no, it's just the basic. So the intermediate is probably much more difficult, right? I wonder if I have one of those. Okay, so this is the intermediate certification course. Here's the very stringent, rigid, just utmost requirements that are feasible, that are imaginable. Be a current member in good standing. Again, I think that's like $20 or $25. Successfully complete the basic. Pay $105. Attend the entire 8-hour intermediate street gang course. Successfully pass the intermediate street gang investigator certification test with minimum score of 70%. And again, remember the context of this. I am making fun of them because it's fun and I enjoy it and I do it for no reason. But my reason here is that these certifications are used as evidence of expertise within the context of qualifying somebody as an expert witness in complex RICO cases. So 70% basic, 70% intermediate in a total of 16 hours of training. I assume that the test is part of the 8 hours. I'm sorry, Ashley, I forgot the $5 processing fee. You got to pay the $5, of course. That's what it takes to be an expert witness. And remember, going back to the Dover transcript, this is her training. So, okay, so those are the basic and intermediate. But I wanted to show you this part real quick. This is the GGIA social media requirements, and you'll notice that there's not even a test. You don't even have to get a 70%, to pass the 70% test to get your GGIA social media investigation certification from Mercer Viverito, the professor. This is, I want to show you guys this. This is just kind of funny. This isn't meant to be a dig or anything. It's just funny about how times have changed. If you look at the Facebook the apps that they were reviewing back in 2018. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. I don't know what this is. WhatsApp. Something called Meet Me. I don't know what this is. Meetup, Twitter, and Foursquare, which I think got purchased by Instagram, right? This is the trafficking course. I'm going to be a little bit more serious about this one. But you'll see, so this is a human trafficking gang investigator certification. So this is serious. This stuff actually matters. Not that the other stuff doesn't, but this certainly does. personnel applying to obtain the GGIA certification. So be a current member in good standing. Again, that's like $20. Pay a tuition cost of $100, add 5 for processing. Attend the entire course, the 8-hour course, and successfully pass with a minimum score of 70%. You do have to previously have passed the basic course. So think about that. You can be an intermediate certified gang investigator, certified with a certified specialist in human trafficking, never getting more than 70% correct. And you can testify in a gang human trafficking case 70%. 70%. That's what it takes. I don't think that takes victims very seriously. And I know that Fanny Willis thinks that people like me don't take victims seriously, but I think it's difficult to argue that this organization takes victims seriously.